Good day, boys and girls, and welcome to History Lesson 2, Trade and Making a Profit. We're going to talk about some inventions and some people again during the Renaissance that had a big influence on Europe and from elsewhere. Now, the ideas of the Renaissance inspired the desire for new knowledge and adventures. It also helped create new ideas and ways of thinking, as shown by the previous lesson with Da Vinci and Galileo. The scientific discoveries and inventions during this period made it easier for Europeans to begin their long journeys of exploration that you will learn about in the next unit. Before we continue with this lesson's work, let's have a look at the keywords we will be noticing throughout this piece. The first one is explore, and that's to travel to unknown places. We have Dutch, which is people who live in Holland. They speak this language. And Holland is a country that we find in Europe. When we talk about voyages, it means long journeys we take. Some of these journeys, boys and girls, can take 6 months just to travel to one place and then 6 months to travel back. And finally, when we speak about a caravel, it's a large ship like the one in the picture right here. The time in history when Europeans began to explore other parts of the world is called the Age of European Exploration. This was in the 15th and 16th centuries. Portuguese, Spanish, Dutch, and British ships left the shores of Europe on long voyages to explore the seas and continents they knew very little about. The Renaissance brought about many changes in science and technology. Europeans had been trading with countries in the Middle East and in China for centuries. Many new inventions were made by Europeans during the Renaissance, or they were borrowed from other parts of the world they had visited. We will now look at the new and borrowed inventions that made the European voyages of exploration possible. The first invention we will be looking at is called the caravel. A new sailing ship, the caravel, was invented in Portugal in the 15th century. It had special sails that allowed the ship to sail into the wind, which meant it did not need people to row the ship. The caravel had strong masts and strong sails. It was faster and safer than other sailing ships and helped European sailors to explore further. Another new invention during this time was guns and gunpowder. Now, gunpowder is an explosive substance in the form of powder. The European explorers took new, powerful guns on their ships. Gunpowder was used to shoot bullets from their guns. The Arabs produced the first gun, and Europeans got information about gunpowder through the writings of Arab scientists. Cannons, as seen in the picture above, shot cannonballs filled with powder to faraway targets at high speed. This meant the ship's crew could attack and defeat people who did not welcome them. European ships could now sail further away from land because many new technologies had been invented which helped sailors find the way. A compass helps sailors to find the way. It has a magnetic needle attached to a disc. The point of the needle always points north. The magnetic compass made it possible for sailors to take their ships further out into the open sea instead of always staying close to the land. Once they were out at sea, they were able to use these new instruments to find out where they were and where they could go. Renaissance scientists drew new maps of the world. Understanding that the earth is round opened the way for European sailors to sail more confidently across the sea. Telescopes are instruments specially built for looking at far-away objects. The astronomical telescope was invented and used to study the moon, sun, and stars.